God, my earliest memory. Probably my first day at nursery when I was about 4, and I hated it. I just completely despised going to nursery.
Hello, I'm Eloise. A very warm welcome to Home Truths, the official channel for Home Instead. Today we're out and about posing one question to the public. What is your earliest memory? Let's see what they have to say. What's your earliest memory?
As a child growing up.
Being a child at the age of 3.
Wow.
When I was 3.
Maybe when I was 5 or 6 years old.
Driving around at the couch in a police car.
Probably I was 5 at school.
I think I was 1 year and a half or something like that. And I was crying like babies do. And I was sitting up the stairs naked and just moaning.
Sitting in a very, very, very big bouncy pram outside the council house in Coventry.
Oh gosh, I'm probably going back to when I was about 3 years of age. I used to live in Highton. Used to be taken up by the neighbours up to the train station, watch the steam trains go past in them days.
Probably when I was 3. I was in Australia. I had food in my hand and I was feeding a kangaroo. I remember it licking me and everything.
Having a good time with my sister, and we played like video games and watch TVs.
Riding trikes with friends at playgroup when I was around 3-year-old.
When I was still a really young boy, like hanging around with my friend.
Playing cricket with my friends.
In a garden somewhere, looking at a wall, and there's always a little tiny red spiders running up the wall, and I must have been about 4.
Oh, my earliest memory. I can't actually remember my earliest memory, to be fair.
Oh my God. What is my earliest memory?
I don't remember.
That's such a hard question. I don't know.
No, blanking.
Playing with my brother and sister.
Playing Hardest Lava with my brother and my mom's.
Probably like jumping down the stairs with my twin brother, innit?
Walking with my mum, holding onto the pram of my baby brother. So I was about 4.
I've got this like distinct memory of like walking into the classroom on like my first day of reception.
The first day of preschool.
Getting dropped off at school when I was about 6.
I can remember talking to an old lady that lived downstairs. Actually, it was the old man, and I was with my sister, and I was asking him, "Where's the dog? Where's the old lady?" And he went all quiet. My sister went, "Shh," and she died, and I didn't know.
It's really random, but walking on like my granddad's fireplace, and I fell over and hit my head. That was the earliest memory.
A very faint one where I'm stuck under a baby carriage because I wanted to get something under it.
Being hospitalised as a child, aged 5.
Whoa. It's not a pleasant one, actually.
Probably when I got locked inside my own house and I had to slide the keys under the door to my parents. It was a very, very traumatic event.
When I was young, I pulled out a flower and I got a slap across the face. And my ear went deaf. That's my earliest memory.
I would be about 6. My brother is a year older than me, and he was getting taken as a birthday treat to go and see Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, and I wasn't to go, and I was very upset.
Like being born?
I think it's probably having a bath in the sink. Circumcision.
Oh God.
Going plant pulling with my mum.
My black lab running around in my house.
Probably watching The Wizard of Oz.
My mum was pregnant with my sister, and she was just, they just done the room up for my sister. My mum was looking around, and I was just in the doorway, just wondering what's going on here.
Going to see my sister in hospital.
I remember I was on like this little bike thing, and I remember falling and scraping my knees and sitting on the couch and just looking at my knees.
Oh, being like, realising that I was in my cot and I didn't like the room because it was really dark.
I think my dad used to be a bit harsh, and I just saw him coming from distance, and I was just, panicking here.
My earliest memory.
I really cannot think of my like an early memory.
Funnily enough, I actually have memory issues because of my neurological condition.
In the womb, actually, I have a faint memory of being in the womb.
I can't remember anything from when I was like a child.
My earliest memory is watching Ben 10, I think.
It will have been when I was little, very small, with my grandmother, I think.
That's
That's a tough question. Leaving school.
Probably going on holiday as a big family.
Baking with my mum.
Chilling in Dublin with my mum.
I think I was like 2 maybe. It was at my family's like first apartment when we lived in Brazil, and my dad picks me up and I'm wearing this red dress, and all I remember is that somebody called his name for us to take a picture, and then he turned me around, and then that's it.
Christmas with my family.
I think about 5 at Christmas usually. It's like, that's a nice memory when I get out.
On the beach with my parents, having fish.
I think my earliest memory is going to like a theme park with my family and enjoying the rides.
Probably when I was playing PS2, 10 years old.
Playing with a toy on the carpet.
My sister, well, she's with me now, telling me that she was going to do something, but it didn't happen. And then the next day she took me Build-A-Bear, and I was just really excited. And yeah, like I just remember like putting in like memories in there, and obviously you get to put in a little heart.
Falling off my bike when I was around it.
I think it's when my brother got brought back from the hospital when my mum had him.
When I had a first little sister, I think that was my earliest memory when I was about 5. And I'm pretty old, so that's pretty good for me actually.
Well, that certainly was interesting. I hope you found it interesting too. And if you did, then subscribe to Home Instead YouTube channel to find out more.